It was a regular day. I've been looking through boy YouTube and there was this one farming video that caught my attention. And as I was watching the video, the desire to try this strat and share my experience on YouTube was growing exponentially.
I shall cast you into a pit of infinite torches.
My intermittent rage only knows struggle or strangle.
Listen, I'm just frustrated. Why is that when you finally find a funny, interesting build, GGG just immediately ruins it? I don't know why, and would be pleased to hear GGG's answer, but my build just doesn't work on these bosses. I mean, it does work on the regular mapping as you can see, but by some bugged reason, it just doesn't do anything in boss room. I had so much fun playing these boss leagues, as you can imagine. However, I guess it's time to look towards stealing a build from Boy Ninja and pretend as it's my own. Okay, now, I think I need to introduce you to the farm strategy itself, so you have a general idea how it works. It's simple. Farming Elderslayers maven invitation the most efficient way possible. Therefore, for this to be efficient, we need a build that can run to the boss and kill him fast enough and be cheap at the same time, because the build has to match our personality. And I found something that can theoretically serve these purposes perfectly. It's Relic of the Pact Inquisitor with cold conversion. The version I found on Boy Ninja is quite good on its own, and let's first try it with no changes and see how much profit we will make straightforward. Let's have a quick look at the Atlas passive tree that we are using. The main idea is to grab all small passives that grant our mobs chains to be duplicated. Also, all item quantity passives and 2% increased effect of modifiers on our mobs, which affects invitations. Besides small passives, we allocate vivid memories for Synthas mobs, remnants of the past for Guardian mobs, Conquerors for Elderslayer mobs, and most toys for Atlas invitations. To finish with, we take all passives in this maven area. Let's have a brief on how we run the maps. Basically, we use shield charge plus flame dash as our movement abilities and try to reach the boss as fast as possible, pressing blood sacrament on some packs of monsters if needed. Next steps, we kill the basic mob boss and enter God's arena. Put our brand on top of the boss, turn on Valrage's fire and burst the target. Then continue from the beginning on the next map. Now let's point out how we complete our invitations. They're pretty easy as long as you follow the queue in which we kill Elderslayers. So, first prioritize Baron, next Veritania, the third goes Alhismin, and Drox remains for the end. Abiding by this list, we can barely die once and never lose any invitations, even with the most threatening mod rolled on an invitation. Meanwhile, the single mod that ruins our completion is Ellie Reflect, so you should be aware only of it. Also, don't forget to run Atlas Invitation, which adds an extra profit to our setup when you fulfill Maven's counter. In addition to that, by taking the most toys known on the Atlas passive tree, we gain 10% chance for a mob to count as 2, which speeds up our progress on the count. Don't forget about rolling all your invitations with at least 55% item quantity, or if you are patient, 80+. Now, let's look at the profits that we managed to make. We did 9 invitations in an hour and 12 minutes, and made total income of 13.1 divine. Minus 6.8 divines that we have invested in our mobs puts us at 6.3 divines pure profit. And if we count it, deducting 12 minutes, we'll see it being 5.1 divine per hour. Sounds okayish, but we can't be satisfied with these results. It's time to optimize the build for the specifics of our farming strategy. Let me show you what are my thoughts on improving the potential of our farming strategy are. First of all, my attention fell on the weapon. What's wrong with the weapon, you may ask? And the answer is Crucible Tree with Hatred mod on it. Although it gives a chunk of damage, there is a low supply on the market, and if you will try to replicate the build after the video, it would be a hard time for you to find a similar wand. So we went for a wand with minimum power and frenzy charges, curse effect, and some flat cold damage. The next item is Heat Shaver corrupted with 6% life that we previously have used in our build. And for the similar to the wand reason, we will change it for a regular version of this helmet. Instead of our boots, we use the 7 league step unique with 16% increased attack and cast speed enchant to boost our shield charge attack rate. Let's move to the belt. We switch our Stygian Vice with Corrupted Blood cannot be inflicted on each jewel for the Magnate unique belt, which provides us with strength, full res, increase our fast sustain, and the main feature gives us something close to 20% more damage. As for the Corrupted Blood jewel, we will simply put it in the passive tree the way which will be shown in a few seconds. Moving to the passive tree, here is Brutal Restraint Timeless jewel, which gives us the Traitor node, granting 4 flash charges every 4 seconds per empty slot. And also it grants overall 10% feast damage as extra cold with these 2 allocated passives. But it's pricey, so we just swap it with our Corrupted Blood jewel, which we have just recently extracted from our Stygian Vice. I wanted to make our build even cheaper, so I replaced our Forbiddens, which grant 20% more damage, with 2 rare jewels that have life, crit multi and feast damage in order to make a difference in price. Although it's only 1.5 divines for both unique jewels, so if you have some currency left, I highly recommend you buying this for your build. As we no longer have Brutal Restraint in our build, we are able to use all 5 flasks and take advantage of that. So I suggest using Onslaught Flask with increased attack speed during effect plus Since Rebirth unique flask, which grants Unholy Might and has a long duration of 10 seconds. And the last change is taking a slightly worse version of Disillusion of the Flesh jewel, 29% instead of 30, just because it's something like half a divine difference and it gives only 100 HP. And of course you can go further and grab Phase Run plus Val Haste or something else, but I stopped on this variant and the profits I would say are still impressive. Also, I brought some minor changes in our Atlas tree to fit some additional profit in our runs. What I did is, I took all 4 essence circles and increased chance for additional essences in our maps, through blocking all other content and grabbing Stream of Consciousness notable. As we finished optimizing our build to fit our strats, let's watch some gameplay.
I've killed countless thousands! What's one more?
With your death, this nightmare may finally end.
Welcome! Time has no meaning here. Your pain.
I shall cast you into a pit of infinite torches.
My intermittent rage.
How you can see on the footage, the build got buffed both speed and boss damage, and I can say for sure that we have fully succeeded on our goals. Moving on to suites, let's calculate our profit with the setup shown and look at the difference with the original build from Poi Ninja. The last and the most interesting part of the video, comparing our profits, is here. Let's start. In the second hour and 5 minutes, we ran 10 invitations, got 2 cortexes instead of 1 for the first run, an additional profit of 0.5 divines worth of essences, which, including guardian maps, fragments, and all in this stash tab, puts us at the total income of 17 divines and pure profit of 9.6 divines, which is 8.8 divines per hour. I didn't mention prices of invitations themselves, but it's just because I got all my invitations straight up from bosses, but you can remove 1 divine from profit if you feel really unlucky with those. Referring to the profit from the first hour, it's 3.7 divines difference, and yes, we got 1 more cortex from the second run, but let's deduct 1.3 divines as to be 100% fair, and we'll still be hitting 2.4 divines difference per hour, which is pretty massive if you ask me, considering that we have also made our build 5 divines cheaper, which now costs just a few divines to go with. Thank you for watching this video and good luck in this dark place, Exile.